Hey, what's up? And welcome to the Adventures of Jerkface, a place where we tell silly stories about serious topics. Thanks for checking us out. Each week, we give some thoughts and tips to help you become the best version of you. I'm your host, Brian, and let's get started. In this episode, we'll talk about the roadmap, or the 4 stages of the Jerkface story, when prompted, after the fact, in the moment, and spontaneous. The main question we're trying to address that we keep banging our head on is this: have you ever wondered why you might not be experiencing the freedom that's to be had in life? You know what I'm saying? Are you tired? Tired of the continued efforts to experience victory? Tired of attempts to try just a little harder, or being in bondage to stuff you don't even like? Now, I'm not just talking about major addictions to life-altering substances or secret actions that are on the taboo list of your culture, or even the devastating behaviors that physically endanger yourself or others. Although those most certainly are to be included, I'm talking more about everyday stuff. Stuff like not eating more than you want. Stuff like not getting angry at that slow driver in the fast lane. Stuff like not getting set off when discussing politics. Or even better, choosing to be kind when being right feels more important, or choosing to be courageous when running and hiding is all you've ever known. The first stage of the roadmap is the when prompted stage. This prompting could come from anywhere: a sermon, a counseling session, a movie, a book, a sunset, a friend, a song, or whatever. I'll give an example of something we might get prompted on. Let's play a pretend game of Family Feud. Top 8 answers are on the board. We asked 100 jerk faces, when I feel unloved, Here's some answers. When I believe I'm unloved, I do drugs, porn, self-harm, eat, get angry, argue, I have to be right, I hide. We do these types of things to cope with an even deeper pain. But by doing these things, we're never able to really confront our false beliefs, or our deepest feelings, or become free. Worse, for most of our lives, we often live these behaviors out without ever even noticing a prompting to change them. Not to mention the root of these thoughts and emotions, or their consequences. I've wondered these things as long as I remember wondering, even more so in the context of being a Christian. Underneath the Adventures of Jerkface Story is a roadmap of sorts that I think can help assess both where you're at and where you're headed in this journey. I don't have a catchy name for this roadmap, and to be honest, I'm not all that big on linear charts that try to put a definitive order on things in life that don't generally move, at least in obvious ways, in a direct step 1, step 2, step 3 kind of way. I think that when you look back on things and try to describe it, it looks like a sequential order, but in the middle of it, in real life, it feels disjointed, takes a lot longer than it looks, and it's usually much messier than the formulas for successful life we've been told and hoped for. Anyways, let me take a second to explain to you what I'm going to explain to you. I think that once someone responds to the invitation to be set free, there are 4 broad and overlapping stages in which one experiences the transitions from being a without effort, I can't help it, didn't even know I was doing a jerk face, to a person who intentionally and spontaneously lives contrary to their jerk face tendencies in new, healthy, and life-giving ways. Stage 1 is what we call the when prompted stage. This place on the map is where I generally need someone else to help me, to prompt me, to see an area of my life where I'm in some serious need for freedom. For Jerkface, it was pouting. This could literally be anything. A warning though, just because you've never been prompted doesn't mean everyone else doesn't already know about it. After enough realized promptings, I eventually moved to a place where I actually can see it on my own. Stage 2 is what we call the after the fact stage. This is where I see the area of change on my own and don't even need a holy prompter. But simply put, I notice it after the fact of the event. At this point in the process, there's really not a tangible physical difference in our actions. After several rounds of this stage, a person starts to close the time gap between doing something contrary to what they want, or at least should want to do, and recognizes on their own what they're actually doing. Another warning: most people quit here because it's too painful and, frankly, too discouraging. Once you see you're a jerk face, it's really hard to unsee it. Furthermore, to move to the next stage, you'll have to move internally from being a victim to one who realizes that you alone have control of your choices. And that, my fellow jerk faces, is really hard work. Stage 3 is the in the moment stage. This is when a person starts to recognize in the moment the actual choice they have to live according to the new and improved version, or to live according to what they've always done. The movement through this stage is when a person goes from intentionally choosing the old way to actually in the moment choosing the new way of doing things. Stage 4 is the spontaneous stage. This comes after a person has consciously made the correct choice so many times that's now an unconscious habit. This marks the transformation of spontaneously doing stuff the old way, never even thinking about it or even being prompted that it might be off, to being a person who's been made new in that area through and through. Lots of people, if not most, think that when they go to counseling or have a spiritual awakening or make a New Year's resolution or buy a gym membership or whatever, that it's a quick fix, easy answer kind of thing. We think and hope that being prompted to something or even self-discovery to something automatically jumps us to spontaneously doing that new something or stop doing the old something for now and evermore. But in all actuality, many, if not all of us, quit before we even get started. But the best person with the best help, prayer life, strategy, diet, whatever, still takes a while to really get healthy. And it often feels like it goes backwards before making any progress. Let me say this one final thing about the roadmap. You're not finished yet. You are in the making. You have the capacity to learn, mature, think, change, and grow. You also have the freedom to stagnate, regress, constrict, and lose your way. Which road will you take? All that to say, this is the story called Adventures of Jerkface, a silly story about a serious topic, the long process of transformation. Thanks for joining us this week on Adventures of Jerkface. Make sure to visit us on social media or on our website, jerkfacepodcast.com, where you can subscribe to the podcast. You can also subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Look for Adventures of Jerkface, or if you want to watch the show in video format, check us out on the Jerkface Podcast YouTube channel. And until we meet again, stay prompted, jerk faces.